I assume that's the excerpt you're playing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Something to keep in mind about, I mean, I'm assuming you'll be preparing this for an audition or something like that, is that in an audition, yes, you play piano, but I think you have to play a little more solistically in an audition than you would actually in this section. Okay. Because you're usually in a big hall, you're in front of, you're making an impression. So if you play too much, that might be perfect actually in the orchestra, but you have to add enough sound that they can hear what you're doing phrasing-wise. So a couple places I found a little too, places like this, that a little too behind behind the, in the section, and you want to be a little more playing out for the audition. Even in these fortes, to me, it's a little bit small. Not a little more bow. Think of it a little bit more like you're playing string quartet. Can we try from the beginning? Good. So, do you think that's 3 bars diminuendo? To me, I hear. So I want to hear a little more tension on that. If it's already, then there's no tension on the C sharp. Yeah, and here, okay, and then can we think a little more about the release? I mean, this is technically the same. Whereas, but that sounds different because of the gesture, and I'm missing a little bit of that gesture. Yeah, it doesn't, without a new start, still under the slur. Yeah. Personally, I don't like the retates. Are you here? Yes? I think it gives it more direction. Yeah. Is that really forte?
No.
What you played? So this is. Mozart doesn't always have to be nice. This is dramatic music.
Okay.
Okay, good. Now there's a new face. He's going to B flat major. So within the piano, I think it needs a little more charm there. Not the same, and then no crescendo. Yeah. So, yeah, you have to work yourself a little better to where you need to be. You can't, I mean, that's a little bit awkward. So start a little more in the middle. Yeah, so we have that 4 times, right? The last one needs to go in direction. Otherwise, it stays very segmented.
Sorry.
There, so, right, yum, bum, 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 so. Putting all this little architecture within there, you can show a little more. Careful with the last one, yum, bum, bum, it doesn't become like that. Yum, bum, 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 always from the first beat away. Is it really singing here? You still need that articulation. Yum, bum, bum, bum. Yeah, so the surprise is here, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're already there, what keeps surprise? So this, you have to keep a little bit in reserve there because you have to play as if that's going to happen like this time. So, what? No. And then we're stuck sort of in no man's land, yeah? Once more from A. Immediately, I think you need a little different articulation. You play. Okay. Yeah. From there. Yeah, so this is hard. You know, you keep young, and then that's a different character after that. So, yeah, it's difficult. So you have to plan where you're going to be in the bow. You don't want to be there, and you don't, not there. So, in a place like that, I always think you cross that out, which is good. You know. The tied over note is the retake. Not, or, can it be a little more spiccato? Yeah, keep going. So high in the bow. You know, you have to think about, they wouldn't have played it at the tip. They had bows that were like, completely different. So they would never, I would do it more in the middle. So in here, so I think of this starting from the second eighth. You know, it's not always starting on the pillars of first and third beat. So think a little bit about the phrasing where you're going to put that comma. Not. very square. And then, especially that last bar direction, yeah? For the forte? Yeah, and so, with chords, really think about the gesture, not simply, but things like that. Really makes a difference in Mozart, what the gesture does. So a little more, really think of it a little more like string quartet playing. I think your palette can be bigger, and these dynamic contrasts can be a little bit bigger. You want to show what you can do in front of a committee. And if you play exactly like you would in a section, it's sometimes not sufficient. So of course, and they want to see that you have the musical intelligence that when you get in that section, then you'll know what to do. Okay? Careful sometimes in the running sections here in forte that you always keep the quality and beauty of sound. To me, sometimes it gets a little, I hear a little bit of that, and Mozart, I never want that. Can we just play here? That's better. And with the left hand, I mean, you manage. I see a lot of vertical movement. Can you try to keep that as close to the string as possible? A little more prepared. You know, it's just frames. Think more in frames instead of particular notes. So that's your G minor. Now, because that slows us down too.
Okay.
You know? What can we do? Why not? Or you're going to? Okay, I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But if you're going to do that, that's your chance to get to the next position. So don't do that and then shift. Yeah. So yeah, just to really really thought out in terms of the frames you have there. And yeah, and then the same thing like in the first movement, even in the piano, not too mousy in the piano. Yeah, just. Yeah, I lose a little bit. No, don't you? It sounds like the second one. Yeah, yeah, but doesn't you don't have to accent. Just that's the main thing. No. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a way, like right? You play a little bit, and I don't know if you're phrasing to the next bar or away from the first one. You know, very clear the phrasing. Here, sound quality. Yeah? You need a little more bow. It sounds a little too much in the string. Yeah, so always poised with the tempo. And now this is all actually still forte, right? Can we play from here? So I think you need to find a little more ease in your forte running note sound. It's not, you don't have to press. You have a little more freedom. Because then it goes into the string, yeah? Yeah, and then you have a contrast when the piano comes there.